Let's check our State Farm marquee matchup. A couple of terrific freshmen. Right now, Tony Wroten, 11 points. Chasen Randall has really struggled. He has not made a field goal, a couple of free throws, and that is it for Chasen Randall. He will have to do more if the Cardinals are going to come back and win this game over the University of Washington. Now, for more on that matchup, let's go downstairs with Dan Belwaminy, who's joined by Drew Schiller. Guys?
Well, our State Farm marquee matchup certainly hasn't been a big matchup so far. You think Wroten has had the better of it in the first half?
He has, and Stanford has not been able to keep him out of the paint. And the real problem is that they're allowing him to finish with his left hand every time. You want to force him to his right. He's left-handed dominant. But right now, Stanford, they need to figure that out quickly and contain him in the second half.
Drew, what was your impression of Tony Wroten? I think Wroten's a terrific all-around player, and he certainly didn't disappoint in the first half.
No, he had a big-time half. The one thing about Wroten that you'd like to see him improve on is his free throw shooting. He's just 55% on the season. Tonight, he's just 3 for 6. But as you can see, he's getting steals, he's finishing in the paint, and as you see, all of these finishes are with his left hand. He also comes in and helps with the block. Andrew Zimmerman cuts him off there, going to his right, and allows him to spin back to his left. He's been terrific in the first half. Stanford is really going to need to stop him if they want a chance to win this game.
All right, here's the key question. How does Stanford get on track, and how do they get Chasen Randall in the game in the second half?
Well, they got to get him going. He's averaging 16 points per game over the past 4 games, and most of that damage has been from the three-point line. He's been 15 for 32. It's nice to see him attacking the basket right there. He didn't make the shot, but Stanford was able to secure the offensive rebound. Tonight he's 0 for 2 from the three-point line. He was 15 for 32 from the three-point line over those first 4 games. So they're going to have to get him engaged here in the second half, despite him missing the shot there. It's good to see him attack the basket.
Well, here's the good news, Drew. I mean, there's some good news here. Stanford, you would think, would shoot it much better in the second half. They're not too far behind. They could be behind by 10, 15 points.
1 for 8 from the three-point line tonight against Washington State, 8 for 33. But the big thing for Stanford is securing the defensive backboard. 11 offensive rebounds for Washington in the first half, 15 second chance points. If they can clean that up, they'll have a better chance to win this game.
All right.
A 15-point lead for Sacred Heart at the half. Joe Castellano and Drew Schiller with you, and you can really see why, Drew. Sacred Heart has won 13 in a row and 20 in a row in the league. They're causing all kinds of problems for Pinewood as far as pressure, and the McConnell brothers, I mean, they are just tearing it up tonight.
Well, Sacred Heart has been relentless in their full court pressure. After every single made basket, they immediately are trapping Pinewood. They forced Pinewood into 9 turnovers here in the first half. Pinewood is definitely going to need to limit those turnovers in the second half if they want to have any chance to climb into this game down by 15 at halftime. Pinewood has had opportunities as well. They have not capitalized. They have been able to knock down some shots from the outside, which is going to be important for them to continue to do in the second half.
Wolfgram only has 4 points for Pinewood. That's a problem. And Will McConnell is a big problem because he's leading everybody in the first half with 14.
Well, here Kyle Riches for Pinewood, the recipient of a nice backdoor pass, and he shows that he can get into the lane and use both hands. A very nice finish with the left hand. After all, he is comfortable playing in this gym, as it is named after his family, the Riches Activity Center. And here, Dante Fraioli knocking down a 3 in the early going to give Pinewood a 1-point lead. He shows he can knock one down from the right wing as well. Pinewood is going to need his productivity in the second half, but like you said, for Sacred Heart, it has been the McConnell brother show here. Reed McConnell begging the referee for a foul there as he gets to the basket with the finish. His younger brother, Cole, who knocked down 5 threes in the first quarter in the last meeting against Pinewood, knocks one down from the left side and then the right side. Pinewood needs Cole McConnell to not knock down any threes in the second half if they want to have a chance. But don't forget about Will McConnell. He is the leading scorer on this team, as you see brother 1 to brother 2, back to brother 3 for the finish, and Will McConnell immediately gets back up and puts on that full court pressure. So Sacred Heart Prep in control in the first half.
Yeah, I'm Barry Tompkins, and it's a pleasure to share the halftime microphone with a guy whose games I called at every college he went to, and now we're colleagues in CSN Bay Area, and the guy with a big future. Drew Schiller, also, of course, the color commentator for Stanford Radio. So, Drew, you and I were talking before the game started, and we talked about when Stanford shoots three-point shots well, they win. Well, they shot their first 2 well, and then after that, 0 for 8. So let's talk a little bit about our State Farm marquee matchup. We talked about Chasen Randall and we talked about Chris Hines, and those two guys are doing their job.
Well, Randall is one of the top 2 freshmen in the league, along with Washington's Tony Roten, and you're seeing exactly why tonight. Last year's Mr. Co-basketball in the state of Illinois knocked down those 2 early threes, and as you can see, Utah with no sense of urgency, no hand in the face, and then he gets out in transition and comes to a nice jump stop, waited to see if the defender would jump, and he finished off the glass. The one thing you'd like to see Randall do is take care of the ball better, and then his counterpart, Chris Hines, he's been the steadying force from Utah since Josh Watkins was dismissed, and he sure likes playing Stanford. He had a career-high 21 points in the first meeting at Maples earlier this season, and then Hines with 11 points here in the first half, so he's off to a great start, but Randall needs to take care of the ball better. On the season, 66 turnovers to 56 assists, and tonight, no assists and 3 turnovers.
You know, and suddenly, and you've been in a lot of these kinds of games, this becomes a gut check game for Stanford.
It really does. Stanford had an excellent performance against Colorado last Thursday night, but you'll take a step back if you lose here tonight against Utah. One alarming thing for Stanford, as we talked about in their wins, their 9 conference wins, 44% from 3 as a team. In their 7 conference losses, 25% from 3 as a team. And tonight, they're 2 for 10, 20%. They need to shoot the ball better in the second half.
Yeah, and they made their first 2. And you've always talked about, we were talking before the game about when they get the rebounding edge, they usually do well too. Well, they do have that, but it is pretty close. And here's the other scary number for you. Utah has only had the lead at halftime 5 times so far this year, and they're 4-1.
Right, and Stanford had a 10-point lead, and they didn't do a good job at putting their foot on the gas pedal and really burying Utah early.
All right.